What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the best podcast on the planet, Pure Buckets Podcast. How are you guys all doing today? We are just off the tail end of the first round. All of the series are now done with, and here we are going to be giving you coverage of the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. In this video specifically, we'll be doing the 4 series of the first round in the Western Conference, and then in the next one will probably be like 2 or 3 days after this one will be about the Eastern Conference, and we are all very excited for the second round. You got a lot of the good teams still left. A lot to talk about, especially in the first round. A lot of takeaways for us. No game 7s, so we didn't have to like, because we were going to record today regardless, but we were, hopefully trying to do this topic because then it gets us more involved with the playoffs, but whatever. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, it's a pretty good day. Fantastic day.
I'm okay, yeah.
Yeah, Ron had a chem test this morning, so
Yeah.
so it's inherently a bad day. So,
Okay.
but it's a Saturday, so it's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, not really much else to say about that. Let's just head straight into it. Who do you want to start off with first? Any takers?
It's a lot to discuss, man.
We have the consensus shocker in the community that of the Suns having to take the Pelicans to six games to do it. We have the downfall of the Jazz. We have the Warriors just doing Warriors things. Jokic getting no help, and then we have the interesting series that me and Rohan have been keeping an eye on the whole time: the Grizzlies and Timberwolves. So, where do you guys want to start off?
Alright, I think we can start by discussing. I would have said the Jazz, not yet though.
Okay.
I think we should discuss the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves series.
All right, that's great. Let's start it off then. I already have the series stats pulled up. We're here. So,
Let's see.
all right. So what are our takeaways? That's kind of what this is open-ended discussion, but like, do you guys think it was going to take this many games?
No, I did not. In my prediction, I said it would be done in 5 games.
Yeah, but it was about to be done.
It should have been 7. Grizzlies should have just lost the series.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they managed to
That
pull
lead blown. Which game was it where they blew that massive lead? The Timberwolves?
They blew every single lead. They blew. You know how many leads they blew?
Yeah,
A lot.
A lot.
Let's see. The only blowout was the second game where
Yeah.
Memphis just blew them out. All the other games were close for the most part.
Yeah.
Where
Where do I see? Oh, here we go.
I think. Was it game 3? It might have been game 3 where they blew the
Timberwolves
20
in game 3. Timberwolves were up 7 at halftime, and they were up 16 entering the fourth quarter, and then they got outscored by 37-12 in the fourth quarter and lost. So that was their first blown lead. Was game 3. So now Grizzlies all of a sudden they take away a game in Minnesota. They're up 2-1, yeah. And then Minnesota has a barely a scrap it out in game 4, win by 1 point. So now we go to game 5, tied up to Memphis. And then what was going on in game 5, Rohan?
That was one of the worst game 5s I've ever seen for freaking the Timberwolves. I'm pretty sure. Then they blew.
They blew. Yeah. Well, the other one was worse. They blew. Like I said, they got outscored by 25 points in the fourth quarter. Game 5, they got outscored by 13 and blew the lead because they were leading by 11 entering that quarter as well. So they blew 2 double-digit leads entering the fourth quarter already through 5 games of the series, which can't happen. And then you have game 6, which happened, which once again they were leading in the game. They're up 3 at half, and they were up. Yeah, they were up double digits entering the fourth quarter once again. So 3 of their 4 losses in the series, they were entering the fourth quarter with a double-digit lead. That is unreal.
That is very funny.
So, yeah, let's hear what you guys got to say.
You know what I noticed? I was looking through the stats, and I was looking at the ratings for offensive and defensive for both teams.
Okay.
So during that series, the Timberwolves had a 112 defensive rating, which I mean, that's not so great, but that's about average. But if you look at the Grizzlies defensive rating was 107.
Okay.
I think, honestly, I think defense is what not completely, because the blown leads is from offense. That's on them. That's on the.
Oh, very
Timberwolves
true. The blown,
offense.
yeah, because those quarters, those fourth quarters, like what was it? Game 3, 5, and 6. So fourth quarter for the Timberwolves, they put up 12 points, inexcusable. Game 5, fourth quarter, they put up 24, but they allowed 37 in that quarter. So that's more of a defensive thing, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then in Game 6, what just happened, they scored 22 and they allowed 40. So I don't know. I don't know if it's. I wouldn't really say like that. Game 3, totally offense. You can't go in with like a 19-point lead, and then score 12 points in the fourth quarter. But the other two were just. They had no. They couldn't stop the Grizzlies, even though they were stopping them like all game. They just blew it. I don't know, Ron. What you got?
I didn't know John Morant was actually the series leader. I mean, I assumed he would be, but like.
Series leader in
Just,
what?
you know, like in points and stuff.
No, the points per game leader was Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane, yeah, he went crazy.
Yeah, Bane outscored Ja, and
Yeah,
Anthony Edwards outscored Ja.
I don't think this was a good series for Ja personally.
No.
Could have been better.
I mean, yeah, you know,
20% from 3.
38 from the floor, and he's a paint guy, and that's because the Timberwolves. One of the things that Timberwolves did fantastic was their interior lockdown. The lockdown defense they had on just specifically like for Ja drives was amazing. But like certain players
even though
Brandon
he hit
Clark,
like the game winner.
Yeah, but Brandon Clark freaking flourished. He was getting offensive rebounds. Like we saw that it was going crazy. He put up 23 offensive rebounds in the series. Which is more than that's more than double. That's who's next closest. Jaron Jackson Jr. at 14. Like Brandon Clark was dominating on offensive rebounds, and it wasn't even close. He also had a great series overall at 16.5 points a game. Like these Grizzlies players, they really stepped up, and which is kind of what we expected. I feel like because obviously like the whole thing with like Ja being out for a lot of the games, and then like them still having a 20-2 record shows like that the team is capable of stepping up. And so that's good that they were able to do it on a playoff stage because this is the first time like this specific team has made the playoffs. Because last year they made the playoffs and they played Utah round 1, right? But they were the 8th seed, and it was like I don't remember the exact team they had, but it wasn't this team. But yeah, I don't know.
They definitely changed. Moving on to the second round, it's probably going to be a lot harder.
Who would you say was the best player in the series?
You know,
it's hard.
I would say Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I was
probably
gonna say
Anthony Edwards. Yeah, they lost. He went dummy, bro.
No, for sure.
Freaking master class, bro.
Shot over 40% from 3. Led both teams in points per game. I mean, he was hitting clutch shots too. He hit that one because before one of these, you have to understand, like one of these games too, they have 3 blown leads. Oh no, well they had 3 blown leads, but one of them in particular was a Ja Morant game-winning layup. And
in game 5, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the play before that tied it was Anthony Edwards hit like a fadeaway corner 3. It was ridiculous.
I was like, bruh.
Those kind of players. Those kind of players are like that. That's like I was watching some videos today about guys were talking about like Reggie Miller or whatever, and like clutch isn't just hitting the game winner. It's about hitting the shots when you're down 3 or 4, and a lot of dudes don't make those. And Anthony Edwards hit a couple shots like that. I feel like in the whole series. So.
Yeah, I would say he kept him in a lot of games throughout the series.
Yeah. Including, what he had? He had a 36 was his best in game 1, 36 points.
Yeah, I think game 1 was his best.
But I mean, you know, his first time ever in the playoffs, and he's posting up multiple 30-point games against the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. I mean, he's going to be great.
Yep.
He has such a bright future, man.
Yeah.
The Wolves got a decent. Okay, but thoughts on D'Lo though?
Are they gonna move on from him? They should. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he had the most. He was pretty. He was a big facilitator. I feel like the series, but it was just not good. Like D'Angelo Russell is not. They didn't get D'Angelo Russell for a facilitator. He played
very inefficiently, man. 33% from the field isn't gonna cut it.
He had 18 points a game in the regular season, and then he puts up 12 on 33% from the floor. He shot better from 3 than the floor.
They need more, bro.
That's not good. That is not good.
Ron, he shot 12 of 41 from 2. That's unbelievable.
First round pick there, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the Timberwolves, and I was actually, it was crazy because I thought it was weird. Because my original predictions was the Grizzlies versus the Clippers, and because it was that matchup, I had the Grizzlies that actually going to 7 games. But not even just because it's the Clippers, but also because I was like, I don't know how much I can trust Memphis. They're kind of like, obviously they're a very young team, and I feel like they're not gonna like. They're by no means. I knew they weren't gonna get it in 4 or 5. I feel like whoever they're gonna play is gonna take 6 or 7, just because of the way that their playoff experience, and both teams have very baby teams, very brand new teams
they're very
to the
young.
scene.
They're both very young.
So and that was pretty apparent because you could see a lot of, especially the Timberwolves in particular, have like very, very low IQ basketball plays a lot of the times, especially down in the fourth quarter, which is probably why they blew so many.
Especially when they're up.
They make questionable decisions, man.
How much do you think coaching falls into that too?
I feel like the coaching, honestly, we'll talk about a different coach coming up that I actually have a bit of a gripe with in this series, but this one in particular, like I feel like, what's his name? It's not Chris Finch. Is he the Timberwolves guy or is he the Memphis guy? Let me see. Yeah, no, it is Chris Finch. Chris Finch, actually, I feel like he didn't even do that bad. He saw D'Lo struggling. D'Lo didn't really do anything in that game 6, and he said, "All right, yeah, you're just gonna sit out for the rest of the game." And bro just did not play. That's when obviously like the bald legend himself, Jordan McLaughlin, came in, Rohan, and stuff like that. And he was having actually a really good game, McLaughlin.
So yeah, I do agree. I don't think the coaching was a really big issue for the reason why they blew those leads.
I just think it's just inexperience, and then these players playing hero ball, like because they had you know how they mic up some of the players or coaches sometimes. One of the things that Chris Finch was talking about to his team was like, "Yo, don't play hero ball," and so they would tell each other. The players would be like, "Yo, don't hero ball," but every single time in the fourth quarter they would just play hero ball for no reason, and then they get mad at each other. I actually don't know why like they do it. It's like an instinct.
Slight lack of chemistry there just makes such big problems.
I do agree. There was quite a few miscommunications probably.
Like a lot of those blown leads is just because they try to go for a good shot but don't pass the ball to get a great shot.
Yes.
That's what ends up to the hero ball. Like passing is what goes crazy in the playoffs, but if you don't do that, and hero ball only works if you're like a superstar, bro, like a Giannis or like a Bron or something like that. It doesn't work when your team is consisted of like lesser tier players. You should be playing more team-oriented basketball, which they didn't do.
The last point I would bring up is just to give it a specific example was I remember when me and Rohan were watching Game 6 yesterday. It was like a tie game, like a minute 10 left in the quarter, and I saw Cat come up the floor and just shoot one of the worst shots. He just chucked up a 3 from like way behind the arc, and I was like, bro, the shot clock just started, brother.
Nah, yeah, he was chucking up threes. I think he chucked up 2 big ones that he missed both.
Yeah. And it's not even like, obviously we know like Cat is he is the best big man shooter in the league right now, and he shot 45% from 3 in the series. He's amazing.
He popped.
But like he just
with your season on the line.
It's just the decisions is what killed the Timberwolves. It's really just the decisions. So
team IQ, lack of basketball IQ.
Yeah. So any more thoughts?
They're a young team.
Yeah.
They'll probably just get better.
I don't know. Hopefully they get better. They definitely should not blow it up. Keep it going.
Yeah. Final thing I will say is that the Timberwolves did average so far in the postseason. They've averaged the most turnovers per game. So.
Just when they're just bad decision making. Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, we'll move on to the next one now. Where you guys want to go?
Utah.
You're doing it second.
All right. Well, since Lewis isn't here,
just wanted to say.
Go ahead.
Me and Rohan predicted the series outcome. So we had our popular guest runner, Lewis. Yeah, no, L. Tough, you know. Any Jazz fans? Nope. They're all in shambles. Where'd they go? I don't know where they went. They're all in shambles. They're crying.
I won't lie. It was me because that's what I said. That's what I was gonna say. Me and Lewis. No, hold on, Ron. Hold on. Me and Lewis had the Jazz. Okay, and then that's why I said I wanted to bring up just because Lewis isn't here. So like I'm the only one that was riding for the Jazz to win this. And in part is because obviously I saw Luka and I didn't think he was gonna come back for Game 3. Like brother was only out for 2 games.
It didn't even matter.
But I think even if Luka played, I'm pretty sure I still was thinking like the Jazz were gonna win in 7, but 7 they weren't gonna win in 6. But I had him in 6 because Luka was out. Because I just believed in the Jazz. I thought they were gonna do it. But now I'm starting to like, because obviously my memory is not very good, so like, I kind of forget sometimes the past what happens.
Yeah, the Jazz
And
have
so
choked
I don't know. It's just they're
their
just
first
it's
time.
just a disaster class, honestly.
You wanna know what killed it for the Jazz? And I told people about this. I told people about this before the playoffs. I'm not gonna put all of it on Rudy Gobert,
Yeah, true.
but he is their number one defensive anchor.
Yep.
Three-time defensive player of the year. Every year in the playoffs, he underperforms defensively. What did he do this series? He played well offensively, right? I said so. He didn't shoot that many
I
times.
mean,
but,
he's always efficient.
I mean, I could tell you why
he
his
just doesn't
numbers
shoot
don't
enough.
reflect like what he does in the regular season.
look at Rudy Gobert's defensive rating for
here
the
we
series.
Go. Here we go.
113.
I wonder why,
Yeah,
Vivin.
it's not good.
113.
I think it's because, yeah, I think
It's
the
pretty
team just
obvious
basically
why.
relies
You know,
on the defense.
No, it's
not
it's pretty
just for
obvious why.
him.
There's two factors here why this is becoming apparent. All right, so one, teams are like it's not even like figuring it out. Okay, it's a big guy. He's 7'2". He's slow. Okay, so what if he's the defensive player of the year? He wins defensive player of the year because he's a fantastic shot blocker and interior defender. So now that they get switched on, and so Gobert is put in situations now in the playoffs all the time where he has to guard the perimeter, which he can't do. So Luka a lot of the time, Gobert was tasked with guarding Luka. Luka is gonna score on that man's every single drive.
Oh well, send that man back to Europe, bro. Like, I told you. Did I not tell you? This is what would happen. Did I not tell you
For what?
that this is exactly what would happen? That Gobert gets exploited in the playoffs. I told you this.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Go back to
I'm
the
not here
DMs.
to say. I'm not. But it's not really. See, okay. So that's the one thing is that
I'm
because
just
nobody else
saying
on the
I
team,
predicted it.
nobody else on the team is they have no perimeter defense. Probably one of the worst perimeter defensive teams in the league.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would agree.
So that's why the Mavericks are like they're just they were just jacking. Jason Kidd is a great coach, by the way. That they were just shooting the lights out of the threes, even though it wasn't the greatest percentage. They were shooting. What was it? They shot. Oh, actually no, 37% from three in the series, but they shot hella threes. They shot 42 threes a game, which is the most. Which is the most so far out of any team. But they were just shooting them, and they were shooting the lights out, and the Jazz just couldn't guard it because when they're surrounded by a team, they have Dorian Finney-Smith, Reggie Bullock, Davis Bertans, freaking Maxi Kleber, Luka, Dinwiddie. I mean, and then they have Tim Hardaway's out. They're like a really good three-point shooting team. It's just a horrible, horrible matchup for the Jazz.
It just ruins them, man. Like, they've already been a weak. We know that they're a weak perimeter defensive team, and this team that they played against, it's a horrible matchup.
Horrible matchup.
115.6 defensive rating for the team. Like, yikes, bro. Like, that's what blew it for them. It was the defense, not the offense. The defense blew it for them. They were unable to guard the Mavericks. Well, what did Jalen Brunson drop? 40?
Jalen Brunson has currently scored the most points in the entire playoffs.
Jalen Brunson averaged 27.8 points per game.
Yeah, he scored
Like,
the
bruh.
most points in this entire playoff so far.
And then Luka came back and averaged 29, 10, and 6, you know?
Yeah, it's just normal things.
Luka kind of ate.
Ron, what else you got thinking about?
I actually didn't know this, but throughout the series, the Jazz actually averaged like 7 more rebounds every game.
I mean, it is Gobert, right?
Yeah. So normally you wouldn't lose a game like that because that's a bunch of second chance points. But I mean, on
very
the offensive
true.
side, I guess they were just inefficient offensively. And I mean, obviously that plays into like how I guess how the Jazz just played offensively. Honestly, I think they choked offensively too. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
not as
very
much as the
true.
defense, but I think they choked on both sides of the ball.
I mean, you have to understand the Jazz are one of only 2 teams so far this playoffs to have an efficiency field goal percentage of below 50% as a whole team.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they were shooting well this series either,
yeah.
which kind of cost them a lot of like Gobert on the offensive end was way more important because he could get you offensive rebounds at least. But if you did nothing with them,
That's not where you should be important.
but yeah, he should be more important defensively.
Should
And
be there.
offensively, he should be a little bit more aggressive. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it's
because
not honestly. Here's the thing,
he's
though,
he's
Rohan.
efficient. He's
Get the
efficient,
ball.
and he doesn't,
doesn't
shoot
know,
that much.
Yeah, but he doesn't get the ball.
He doesn't get the
Rohan.
ball.
Well,
Yeah.
how can he be more aggressive if he doesn't get the ball?
I don't know. Just ask for it more.
The Jazz this postseason have averaged the fewest assists per game. He doesn't get
That
the
is
ball.
true.
He puts how many shots does
Yeah.
he put up a game?
Dallas had way more assists throughout the series.
You know what I'm saying? So
than
like,
Jazz. Oh, yeah.
and I was hearing I was watching like the NBA TNT like after like because they watched the game or whatever and they talked about it afterwards. And I remember Shaq said something along the lines of like the difference between like let's say he just said like for example himself. So like him and he'll say like yeah you know you could do really good on the defensive end, but then Gobert is putting up a cool like what 8 points.
Yeah.
12 points average.
You know what I'm saying? So like
Just doesn't work.
it doesn't
When
work.
your second best player can't score at like, any amount of volume. it's kinda
Any
painful.
volume whatsoever.
But
I
like,
think-
I'm not asking him to average 30, obviously. But like, 18, 19, 20. That'd be nice.
I think that kind of caused like their inefficient shooting issue to be like even worse because now they were just looking to shoot a lot of threes
No, but
or
they've been like
mid-range shots.
No, but
just
they've been
not
like
in the paint.
for real though like
As a team, the Jazz shot 27% from 3.
horrible.
And yeah,
Wow.
they were atrocious from 3.
Wow, wow,
And-
wow. That is.
But back to the Gobert thing, I feel like the team just forgets that Gobert is one of the most efficient. Like he's 63.6%
in
from
the
the
paint.
floor in this series. He was 63.6% from the floor. And
It's
guess how many
it's
shots
'cause
he
he
took? He
doesn't shoot.
he took less shots than Royce O'Neal.
Man, what? That just doesn't.
He like
He needs the ball
30
more, bro.
30-something minutes every
They need
game.
to integrate him in the offense more. Just expecting him to lock down a defense. Here's the thing: since Gobert is mainly a defensive player, whenever his defense is exploited in the playoffs, he provides barely anything besides like rebounds.
That's
But any
true.
half
Yeah,
decent
and it's
center
just a
can give you
liability on
rebounds.
the offense now.
The
Like,
issue is
he-
Gobert
They
can't.
pay him 50, what, 40 million something?
Oh, he's
for-
a highly paid player.
For what? For what?
Just for
Nothing.
rebounds,
You don't get anything for rebounds, bruh.
Literally
That's
just
why,
the
dude.
rebounds.
That's why it's like those kind of players where it's like, you know, I always say like those kinds of players. They're only as good as their point guards or their ball handlers let them be. Gobert doesn't get the ball enough, and he could because he's not. He can't really get his own. Is the term I like to use. He can't go out of his way with the ball and get his own. An example of this, obviously, Embiid can get his own. Jokic can get
Yeah.
his own. They have like a quote unquote bag. You know what I'm saying? Or they could just finesse down low, eat anything. Gobert can't do anything other than just get a dunk or whatever. So if the guards aren't actually giving him the ball or setting him up for plays,
like
then he's completely useless. And that's why I also fault. Here's my gripe: is with Quinn Snyder, the head coach. He had a disaster class coaching job this series. They did 6 games worth of saying, yeah, we're not gonna take Gobert off because he's a great defender at interior, and we're just gonna put him on all of their perimeter players that are playing 5 on the perimeter.
0 adjustments.
There's 0 adjustments, and he got exploited game 1, and they didn't make any adjustment for the whole series.
Surprisingly, they actually won game 1, but yeah, they lost game 2 and 3
But it's just
against Jalen Brunson. So yeah, I would have changed something after like game 2.
yeah, they lost 2 games with the Mavericks without Luka.
Which is also another thing. I didn't think Jalen Brunson would be as. I mean, I guess maybe it's because freaking the Jazz collapsed, man. But I don't know. I didn't think Jalen Brunson would be averaging 28 points a game at any time.
You want to know how crazy it is too? Because that game 6, Bogdanovich got a wide open 3, literally wide open at the very end of the game with the buzzer. If he hit that shot, because he just bricked it and they lost. That's the whole series. If he made that shot, we could be talking about the Jazz in the next round. For all we know, they could win Game 7 somehow.
True.
Honestly, though, that entire play is literally
A
like
wide
an
open shot, man.
encapsulation. Yeah, an encapsulation of the Jazz series because
That's actually so perfect.
it was a wide open 3. He could have gone to the basket and just taken a 2 and gone to overtime, which he didn't. He just shot it, right?
I don't know if they had enough time
I
to.
don't think that. I wouldn't say that he could have shot 2.
No,
But
because
missing
he
a
faked him
wide
out.
open 3, man.
No,
Come
I
on.
know what you're saying, Ron. They
And no
could have.
one's gonna foul
They
him.
could have drawn up a better play at least, or a play
Yeah, true.
to get inside.
And
They
then
did. They got a great
he
shot,
shot it
but like,
open three, and they bricked it and missed it because they were just having a bad night from three.
He was
Again.
Dude, Bogdanovich is their second leading scorer, and he had an absolute disaster class for the whole series.
Exactly. That's not great.
What did he shoot? He shot 33% from three. He's just not. I mean, not a whole series, but he had certain games. There were certain games.
Certain games where he did play at least decently.
Yeah, well, like Game 5, for example, when they lost by 25 points, Bogdanovich scored 2 points because he shot 0 for 9 from the floor.
Yeah, that is cut it.
So, I don't know. Vip and
Yeah.
Rohan, you guys got anything else to say? I'm pretty much finished with this one. I'm sick of this team. I'm sick.
I think honestly, I expect them to
think
blow it up. Donovan
Yeah,
Mitchell
yeah,
trade
exactly. Back to
maybe
what
or
Rohan was going to
something.
say. What do they do now?
Do you think will they blow it up?
Might blow it up. Maybe I would.
What do you think, Rohan?
Personally, they definitely have to make changes because, I mean, there's clearly a bunch of issues with their defense, and if they have pretty inefficient offense as well, like they're just in a really bad spot. I don't know about Rudy Gobert. If you keep him or not. I don't know if you keep Donovan Mitchell or not.
You know what the issue is with the Mavericks like
But-
this offseason?
What?
I think they only have 2 free agents, and none of them are like they're important players. Like one of the free agents is Eric Pascal, who never plays. So they have nobody. Nobody's like leaving, right? And then if you want to do it like you could trade, but I don't know who wants to trade Gobert and Mitchell because I'm pretty sure they're making hella money like next year.
Yeah.
Gobert
so
next
they
year
kinda have
makes
fat contracts.
Gobert next year makes $38 million for playing zero offense basically so far in his entire career. And Donovan Mitchell just signed a contract also at the beginning, and he's also
30
making over $30 million. But that stacks. It
Mitchell is
stacks.
way more tradable than Gobert.
Yeah,
Gobert is not tradable.
right now.
I'm telling you, Rudy Gobert is not tradable.
You think so?
Nobody. Why would
Even though he was
pay
like really bad this
40 million
series,
for that? You're crazy.
I don't think the trade value is there right now.
I'd rather,
What-
I'd rather,
Gets
as
the
a Hornets fan, I'd rather ship out Hayward back to Utah and give me Gobert.
Yes, but that's also a horrible contract. I'm talking about like reasonable trades here.
Yeah.
Also, why
I
would
don't
the
know
Jazz
the
do that?
trade
The Jazz
value.
would not do that.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, well, if they got
Well,
like picks and
obviously
stuff.
they have still. Well, you're just saying like I'm gonna trade this bad contract for another bad contract. So like obviously anyone does that.
I'm pretty sure Gobert's is worse. I could be wrong though.
Maybe I don't know. It's just such a horrible contract. I mean they had no choice to give him that. But like, dude,
Yeah. Gordon
It's-
Hayward's making the same amount of money as Mitchell.
look, I think it's locked in now. This will happen every single year until they blow it up. It happened last year. It happened the year before. It will happen again. all I
So,
can say.
but can they? I don't even know if they can blow it up. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know, but they might just run it back and
Because
just.
I don't know who
change
wants Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert.
Donovan Mitchell probably, I'm sure, has wanters. Gobert, I don't know.
I know he wants to. I
Yeah.
think I've been hearing he wants to
Mitchell wants to.
leave, but I don't think a lot of the teams. Like I've heard, like it's always like from the perspective of the player. Like, oh, the player wants to go here, but what team really wants
I
to
don't know
have that 4-year
the
contract
situation
with
that
Donovan Mitchell with his current history? His best career highlight was a bubble series. Which don't get me wrong, like I'm not a bubble hater. I actually like really like the bubble, but that is not the one to say like the GMs and the executives of all these organizations may not think the bubble was like a little different than what it's supposed to be. So you never really know what's going through these guys' heads. But I mean, for sure, Donovan Mitchell is still like obviously a star.
Yeah.
Is he a superstar?
I don't think he's consistent enough to do that. Yeah, no.
Definitely not superstar. Star, yes, not superstar.
All right. Any more comments there on the Jazz and the Mavericks? Do you think the Mavericks got a good chance in the second round, or is it going to be a bit of a tough one? We'll touch on the team. I'll do the team next. The next team, but
First time Luka's in the second round, I guess.
yeah, first time Luka's in the second round. Same as Ja,
Hmm.
and they're going up against
Suns, and I think the Suns have Booker
tough
back,
teams.
right?
Yeah, the Suns got Booker back.
Mm.
Suns got their full squad. They even got Vipin's boy up in there.
And they'll be rested up probably since they finished a little bit
Gonna be
early,
rough, bruh.
a little bit before the.
But
Jazz.
anyway, yeah, we'll see
Um.
how it goes. Luca's crazy. We don't know. I assume the Suns will win.
I'm assuming the Suns with my prediction was it 6. I think it'll be a good series though.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll move on now to the. Speaking of the Suns, we'll go to one of my favorites, probably my favorite series to watch this postseason so far. One of my teams, the New Orleans Pelicans, as an 8 seed. Nobody even thought they would make it into the postseason. They thought it was easy Clippers, Timberwolves, or even Spurs ahead of them. But here the Pelicans are an 8 seed, and they're giving the Suns a heart attack. So
yeah, they scared them for a bit.
I bet you when the Suns lost Booker, they were like, "Oh shoot."
No, I was legit scared that they might lose.
Yeah. So how do you guys want to start off?
It's
this
pretty
one?
back and forth series.
I don't, man.
I mean, Ingram played pretty well.
Ingram,
pretty well.
Yeah, Ingram.
What was he averaging? Like
29.
Yeah.
I think this is the final. This is finally when I can call Brandon Ingram like he's reached stardom.
Yeah, I'd say this was probably his breakout series.
I think this is the moment. This is the final.
Even if he didn't win,
he's always been that good player with
20
New Orleans, but he's never had the opportunity to. He's never like really led the team like he did. He averaged 27, 6,
27, 6, and 6. That's good. Like I said, that's good. Look at the efficiency too. 40% from 3, 47 field, 83 from free throw. That's efficient.
Yeah.
Good.
It's
a bit more rough when you look at the other members of the team.
Yeah.
The other members didn't shoot so hot, but it's.
I mean, CJ still played good. It's just, I mean, you're not gonna always
CJ
shoot lights out. 30 in the 33s for threes isn't even. It's not even like we're not even like really bad territory. Isn't that not like league average or something?
35% is fine. That's okay. That's not bad.
So it's not too terrible.
Average.
Now I would say under 40% from the floor isn't too great, but he still put up 22, 6.5, and 5. CJ also is a great fit, by the way. I've actually loved how the Pelicans got him. I think that team is going to be so scary next year if Zion comes back.
It was a better fit than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Contender? Question mark?
Contender for what? The title?
Well,
I mean, if they keep playing at this
I don't know how
points per game. Zion Williamson?
If you take basically what their lineup
we don't
would be,
know
it
if
would
it's going
be
to be 100% or not.
We're talking CJ McCollum, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion, and Jonas as a starting 5. That's like top 4, top 5 seeds worthy. That's like avoid the play-in worthy.
But
that's like home court.
I mean,
advantage.
that's like near contender, yeah.
But it's hard to guess because you never know. You never know how it's actually gonna like work out with that team. Because Zion is obviously a very, very
Zion hasn't played
impactful
in a
player.
while,
Well, not even that. He's just a very impactful player. So it's all about the chemistry at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So but forget the Zion talk. Let's just talk about the series now.
I mean, there was that time where Chris Paul had a perfect game. You know, that was kind of.
That was crazy.
It was a game.
We cannot keep ignoring him, man. He's crazy.
It's crazy.
In the closeout game, a perfect shooting night. Like, jeez.
For the series, he averaged like 22 and 11, so that's ridiculous.
Yep.
22-11 with almost 2 steals a game.
Yep, that is pretty nuts.
I mean, he isn't.
Chris
not
Paul had
all
141 offensive rating, bro.
I mean, yeah, he had a masterclass series.
Yeah, he did.
No Booker. He said, "All right, it's my.
No Booker.
I have to. I'm not gonna like spend the fourth quarter facilitating. I'm gonna just close out the game." He plays. That's why the Suns are so good. And especially Chris Paul, because they make the other team play at his pace. Like he doesn't like. He just kind of does whatever he wants, and it kind of just works out for him. Plays at his pace. Other teams, they don't play at like a specific pace that they want to sometimes because of defensive pressure or just other things. But see Chris Paul, it doesn't even look real when I sometimes I watch. It's like it's just an ISO. He is so good in the ISO, by the way. But I don't know, it's just the way he really is like the floor general. Not for his own team, but for both teams. Like he literally it looks like he controls the other team. That's how crazy it is.
I do agree. I will say though, like obviously he played amazing this series, right? But I will say at certain points he wasn't super consistent like he would be when he was younger, obviously. So like age definitely is playing a slight factor, I will say.
Do you have any specific examples of him playing inconsistently?
What was it? Was it game 5 or game 4? Where I don't think he played too well.
I can look into it, but you can keep going.
But yeah,
Oh,
especially
you're
when
right. You're right.
yeah, especially when like because honestly, like I don't think it's that much of a factor, like where you know he's like a liability or anything because he's not. But uh, I do agree that he's not like as consistent as he would be, like when he was young. That's just my
Yeah, it
point.
was indeed game 4, by the way. He put up a nice 4 points.
Yeah.
So
So I mean, it happens.
That
I
was not
mean,
so hot.
it happens. You know, it happens to even the best of players.
but yeah, just the Suns, they look so scary, dude.
But yeah,
They
the
still
Suns
look like I'm already
and that was because with Booker out as well. So
yeah.
I can't
Like I'm
blame
not
him.
trying to look ahead and like ignore these Mavericks and the Grizzlies, believe it or not, but I don't know. It's looking to be it's sizing up to be a fantastic series between the Suns and the Warriors if it happens.
You know, that's respect.
I do agree. It would be a very offensive heavy game.
So
Not to say that either of their defenses are bad either.
no, for sure. But I don't know. I don't even know what to say here. Like Suns
Gonna be a lot more perimeter focused.
What do you think?
What do you think about DeAndre Ayton within
Oh yeah.
this series?
That's my boy. That's my boy right there. I mean, that's my guy. Like I've been about DeAndre Ayton for a
How,
while now.
Okay, but what do you think about him in the context of the series?
I'd say in the series he
how
played
do you
pretty
play?
well. He played very efficiently, like incredibly efficiently. I think he shot 70% from the field, which is fantastic. And I say most of those were like assisted, right? He didn't go like himself crazy. That's not really how he plays.
I don't. Is there any way you can even check that? But I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like he's not.
think
He has a better offensive game by far than Gobert. I'll give you that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's not as good defensively. I don't even know. I wouldn't even say it's not close. But like offensively, you can do stuff with Ayton.
Yeah,
You can pass him the ball. He'll lob it up and throw it down. He can do stuff in the paint.
I've seen
Like,
him hit a
he's
couple
not-
fadeaway mid ranges.
Like he working on his game, bro. He only gonna get better. Give him a few more years. He gonna be that guy, bro.
Mm.
I don't think he's gonna be a number 1 option or anything, but like he's gonna be good. He's gonna be scary.
What do you think that'll still be Booker? At
Yeah,
least scoring
for
wise.
sure. No, I mean, I don't know. How
About to
good
go
was?
off and he got injured, man. That was so sad.
Yeah, I know it was sad. He dropped so much in the first quarter.
No, I think it was in the first half at like 31.
First
I was
half?
like, all right, man. Yeah.
You do want to hear something actually like pretty cool about DeAndre Ayton in this postseason so far and that series? Is that because we obviously just talked about like he can get his own kind of thing. There's this really cool like breakdown of like the percentage of like your field goal attempts by how far you are from the basket. And you would think obviously with Ayton like his is obviously going to be with that the categories are like 0 to 3 feet, which is like right at the bat like a dunk or a layup, you know. And then there's like a short mid range 3 to 10, and then there's a long mid range from 10 to 16 kind of, or like a mid range. And this postseason he had the bulk of his were the first category was the 3 to 10, and then it was the 10 to 16, and then it was the at the basket. So like his dunks and stuff were like in the layups were his third leading category of like the shots he took.
Oh, so he's been taking more mid range.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. He's taking more shots. He's been taking more shots from outside the basket. Only 20% of his shots
been
in this
expanding his
series were
game,
at the
man.
basket.
That's kind of
He's been
scary.
expanding his
Not
game.
gonna
That is
lie.
kind of scary. He's getting more versatile.
Yeah.
He's also good at, like in the paint, but now he can do this mid-range stuff. I mean, like that's just
It's not like
Scary.
long mid range, because long mid
no,
range
no,
is like a
close
different
stuff,
category.
like
But
Yeah.
close mid-range, like that kind of stuff is nice.
but we're talking like we're talking like elbow jumpers and stuff, like those ones that Westbrook always hits off the top of the corner of the backboard. We're talking Aiden's like swishing them, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't have Ayton and Westbrook. I'll tell you.
I'll tell you that. That's facts.
Bro, Cole would take Jalen Brunson over Westbrook.
Of course I would. I take Jalen Brunson's left side of his body over Russell Westbrook. What are we talking about? But yeah, what do you guys? I don't know. What else? What are the major takeaways from this series from both sides?
The Pelicans are definitely not. What were they coming into the play-in?
36-46, the worst record of any team entering the playoffs.
So they were the 10 seed.
Yeah.
If I remember.
No, they were the 9
Yeah,
seed. They were the 9 seed.
Okay.
But still.
Yeah, they definitely did not look like a 9 seed. So.
Yeah. They did not look like a 9 seed.
And I don't think with Zion they would even be close to a 9 seed. So, yeah.
So good looks in the future.
And Phoenix took care of it.
I just love the whole team, by the way. Like, I love the coach is going to be Willie Green is a fantastic coach. Like, he's one of those guys you want to play for, kind of thing. Like, he shows a lot of emotion and stuff. You have these great rookies. The GMs have done a fantastic job. Obviously, well, needless to say, Zion, but Trey Murphy, who just shoots threes a lot. You got Herb Jones, who's arguably like he should be like an all NBA defensive team already. He probably won't be, but he's like such an incredible defender. He's also he's starting in all these games as a rookie, and he's shooting good threes and stuff. He's very like systematic with the way he plays. Very smart player. And just the team cohesion that we saw from the Pelicans, and even like the little Alvarado, Grand Theft Alvarado.
Yeah.
He was like he's like you put him in and to spark up the crowd kind of thing. You get the crowd into it. Everybody gets into it when you put Alvarado on the field on the floor. So
kind of like a mental boost.
Yeah. So the whole team is just. I feel like the Pelicans, that team just works so well together. I think they just kind of. It was just unlucky that they had to play arguably the best team in the entire league.
Yeah.
And they took 2 games from them.
So I mean, they tried. They
tried. What else? What do you take away, Vivian?
I think this just proves that the Suns are scary. They're deep. The Suns are deep. They have so many options, like scoring wise. They're not just relying. Like if you look at their team, like just overall scoring, this series they had 5 guys average at least 11 points per game, and the first 4, the lowest scoring was 17 points a game. Like Mikal Bridges is scary, bro.
Facts.
Is he come off the bench or does he start?
He starts.
He shot 53% from the 3, bro.
Oh, that's actually ridiculous.
53%.
8 for 15 in the series.
I mean, like that's you gotta guard him. You gotta guard him.
Going into the second round, do you think the Dallas Mavericks are gonna give him more trouble
than the Pelicans?
Than the Pelicans? Yeah. I personally think
so.
It'll be about the same.
Yeah, I think
Luka
this is like there's no way this series I feel like goes to 7.
Yeah,
but
I feel like it'll be.
I feel like it could definitely be a 6-game series just because of the way that Brunson and Luka play.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, like if Devin Booker never got injured, would the Pelicans have taken 2 games, or would it have just been like 1?
I mean, I don't know. They were winning that game.
It's like one of them what ifs, so you never know.
So we can only speculate.
Yeah. All right, now on to the last series of the Western Conference, probably the shortest one I feel like we could touch on. It's kind of more. This one isn't like deep dive. This is more about just takeaways from this one.
There's really only like
Warriors Nuggets. What are the takeaways here, boys?
I get you help, please.
Denver was...
Please, man.
Please get him some help.
It was close when Jokic played, but the second he benches to like take a breather, it's over. That team can't do anything without Jokic. They're worthless.
Yeah.
Like it was 4-1, but like when Jokic played, it was closer than that. Like it was closer than the winning showed. Jokic did play a little bad though in a few games.
Yeah, they put up a dying effort towards the end after they were down 3-0.
Can't tell me a guy has to average 31, 13, and 6 with almost 1.6 steals a game and a block. Like, dude.
On 57.5% from the floor, and you would tell me that this guy won 1 game in the playoffs?
Like, what more can he do? He can't do anything more than that. I don't know, man. Like,
I mean, look at the dudes that played for them. Look at the dudes that played.
Look at the second highest scorer, average 14. It's not gonna work. That won't work. That can't work. That cannot work. If you look at the Warriors, look at the Warriors scoring distribution.
Well, the Warriors are just insane.
I know. Curry averaged 28. Klay Thompson 22. Jordan Poole, a dummy, averaged 21. Andrew Wiggins 14. Like there's so much, and then Draymond Green is like all around just.
I mean, Draymond's
good player.
always been like that.
He somehow,
we
averaged
know
10
what
points.
Draymond
He's
does.
probably the greatest triple single player in the history.
Like his stats
Triple
just
singles,
lie about
man.
him.
The greatest.
I
No,
feel
but
bad for
unironically-
Jokic.
But yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
I agree
this
with you.
Warriors team is so unbelievably dangerous. I'm already going back on because in my predictions, honestly, I picked the Grizzlies to beat the Warriors originally in 7 games, but I only did that because I just like to see like this new Grizzlies team kind of win, and I really don't want to see the Warriors win, to be honest with you. But at the same time, being not the bias or the prejudice taken out of it, this Warriors team might seriously just give it to the Grizzlies and might take it in 5. I won't lie.
I wouldn't be the most shocked, to be honest.
I mean,
I'd be more shocked if that series went to 7 than 5.
yeah, I wouldn't be too shocked. Yeah, I would be more shocked actually if it went to a game 7. I also had them going to 7.
Hopefully, Ja does turn up, but if because the Warriors are a smart team. If the Warriors saw anything if they could take away anything from the Timberwolves and what the Timberwolves did right, they'd be like, okay, we're just gonna guard
Contain Ja,
inside,
right?
even though their death lineup obviously is a very it's a very undersized team. Doesn't mean they can't guard down low for a lot of like Draymond is just a defender, period. So
Yeah.
it's dangerous.
So
It's
I think
dangerous.
I think there's ways that they can do something similar to what the Wolves did for their series,
Yeah,
which would be very bad for the Grizzlies
for
Would be very bad,
sure.
because they're way more experienced than the Wolves, so they won't collapse or anything in the fourth quarter. They won't blow leads.
Yep.
This Warriors team, they got their main guys who've been there, done that.
Yeah.
So we know that there's a good chance they won't crumble under the pressure like the Grizzlies might. So I say it's more safe to bet on the Warriors.
Yeah, I feel like
That
it's
should-
an experience thing.
Yeah.
Even though they're technically the lower seed, which is surprising.
That was just
Well,
'cause of
It was
By
kinda
one.
Clay
Very
missing
by
out for half
one,
the
yeah.
year. Draymond missing probably like half the year.
Which,
Things
yeah,
happen.
if there weren't that many injuries, where do you think it would actually be seed-wise?
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like 2 seed. So
Probably 2 seed. Yeah, I do. Yeah, the Nugget series though kind of trolled everyone except for Jokic.
Jokic. No, Jokic.
MVP out first round.
you guys got any more takeaways from this series or just any series in general here?
I think he covered pretty accurately. Got everything.
The only what do you got? Wait. The only positive plus minus player from the Nuggets was Bryn Forbes.
LMAO what?
Well, you already know how I feel about plus minus now, Rohan.
No, there's also Zlatko Kankar. And boy. Yeah, very funny.
Wait, tell me what you think about plus minus.
I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those stats. Just personally,
No,
it's one of those stats that it's kind of a weird thing. Like I understand the premise behind it. Like if you're on the floor, then like obviously if it's negative, then like you can
There's
like
no way
it
to
does, like,
accurate
you can
that.
say like a common denominator. But just because you're on the floor, it doesn't take into account the rest of the team you have on the floor. It doesn't take into account who the other team has on the floor.
I don't understand. How is Jokic's plus minus a -9?
So like, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's just kind of it's not really a flawed stat because it does what it's supposed to do, but I feel like people like you remember the thing I sent you earlier where we were talking like Bleacher Report, by the way, just so you guys know, like 2 years ago they made like a top 50 players of all time list or whatever, and they have David Robinson above Hakeem at one spot, and they went on this whole thing like appreciating David Robinson or whatever and Hakeem and stuff, but then they said, all right, well let's get to the elephant in the room. Why do we have David Robinson one spot above Hakeem Olajuwon? And the reason that they gave was because, ready for this? We look at the numbers of the careers. Robinson is leading in box plus minus, true shooting percentage, win shares per 48 minutes, and playoff win shares per 48 minutes. That literally was the end of the paragraph and the explanation to why they have David Robinson above. And so to me, box plus minus, win shares is a good stat. I'll give you that. All right. And true shooting percentage. Vivian, can you tell me the difference between true shooting percentage and efficiency?
I think true shooting percentage is like a combination of all.
Does true shooting percentage like factor like your 3-point? It has something to do with like factoring in like 3-point something. How do I even see that? I think it's like.
But I'm pretty
it's
sure
not a-
that was.
Shooting percentage is an advanced statistic that measures a player's efficiency at shooting the ball. It is intended to more accurately calculate a player's shooting instead of like the individual things taken individually. I think it's like grouped.
So what's the difference between efficiency and? I don't. Okay, efficiency. Okay, this is what it just says on the reference. We'll wrap it up with this. Efficiency field goal percentage. This statistic adjusts for the fact that a 3-point field goal is worth 1 more point than a 2-point field goal. That's literally the definition of it. So I guess like the.
Oh, okay.
It is just, it kind of it adjusts the percentages to where it's like, if you make a 3, then it's kind of like 1.5 field goals. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. So it adjusts like that. And then true shooting percentage, TS. Oh no, I just did the wrong thing. Wait, Control F. TS percentage.
It just doesn't do that.
True shooting percentage, a measure of shooting efficiency that takes into account 2-point shots, 3-point shots, and free throws.
Kind of includes everything basically. Every shooting.
Yeah, so efficiency is about like factoring in like, okay, you get 1 more point, so like it's like a 1.5 field goals. But true shooting percentage is 2s, 3s, and then also free throws on top of that. So how well you're shooting, I guess, just your true shooting percentage. So what were we even talking? Oh yeah, that was the David Robinson thing. Oh yeah, that's whatever. But the box plus minus is flawed, especially in that situation, because box plus minus wasn't even a statistic until 1996, which is post Hakeem winning his chips years.
True.
It's like, I don't understand what we're talking about here.
You miss out on a lot from not having that.
So like, I don't know. I just whatever, we were just talking about that, but I mean, box plus minus. I mean, again, it does what it's supposed to do, but like, I'd rather look at other stats. You know what I'm saying? Like even like defensive box plus minus specifically, or offensive box plus minus, are better to me than just saying plus minus, because you can as an individual can have a terrible game, right? But then your teammates are around you when you're on the floor are having a great game. So then your plus minus ends up being a positive number at the end of the game, making it look like you had a significant impact on the game. But then you just played horrible.
Yeah, so I don't know.
That's basically just how I interpret it. So. All right, you guys want to end it there, or any more comments before we go do the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, I think we covered it pretty accurately. The East is gonna be interesting though.
For sure.
For sure.
Rohan, anything?
Looking forward to the conference finals, with the Warriors and the Suns.
Oh, you're already here first. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the Eastern Conference video coming up soon. See you later.
Yeah.